I refused to let my stay-at-home wife get a job, so she ran to her ex-boyfriend's company. I followed her there and caught them making out in his car in the parking lot. I knew what I had to do next. My wife Nicole, 34 female, and I, 35 male, have been married for 4 years, and for the most part, I thought we were doing great. We have 2 amazing kids, a 3-year-old daughter, Claire, and our little guy, Liam, who is just 11 months old. I worked hard to build a life for us where Nicole wouldn't have to worry about money. I make more than enough for us to live a really good life, for the kids to have everything they need, and for us to be comfortable. All I ever wanted was for her to be able to focus on raising our kids, to be a stay-at-home mom. I think it's important, especially when they're this young, to have a parent who is always there, shaping them and looking after them properly. My own mom was always there for me, and I know it made a difference. This has become the one thing we can't see eye to eye on. For the last year or so, Nicole has been talking more and more about getting a job. It started out as just an idea, something she'd bring up occasionally, but now it's become a real point of argument. I just don't get it. We're not struggling. I've told her that if she's bored, she could pick up a hobby, volunteer, or we could find other things for her to do. But she's fixated on getting a job, and it's led to us fighting a lot. The conversations always end the same way, with me telling her how important I think it is for her to be with the kids, and her accusing me of trying to control her or not wanting her to have a life of her own. It's not about control. It's about our family. It's about Claire and Liam. I want what's best for them. And in my heart, I believe what's best is having their mother at home with them. The arguments have gotten more frequent and more intense. It feels like there's a constant tension in the house now. We used to be a team. Now it feels like we're on opposite sides. It's created a gap between us, a real one. We've started sleeping in separate rooms some nights just to avoid another argument. I miss the way things used to be, when we were happy and on the same page. I feel like I'm losing my wife over this, and I don't know how to fix it. I've tried to talk to her calmly, to explain my point of view without it turning into a shouting match, but it's like she's already made up her mind that I'm the bad guy here. Things finally came to a head last week. I came home from work expecting the usual controlled chaos of 2 young kids and my wife trying to get dinner ready. Instead, the house was silent. I called out for Nicole, for Claire, but there was no answer. I walked through the house. There were toys on the floor in the living room, but no one was there. On the kitchen counter, there was a note. My hands were shaking a little as I picked it up. It wasn't long. She wrote that she couldn't do this anymore, that she was tired of fighting and feeling like she wasn't being heard. She said she had dropped the kids off at my parents' house and that she was going to stay with her mom for a while to clear her head. Her mom lives alone since her dad passed away when she was young, so I guess she felt that's where she needed to be. Reading that note, I just felt a surge of anger. How could she just leave? How could she take the kids and drop them off like a package without even talking to me first? She just ran away because she wasn't getting her way. I drove over to my parents' house and sure enough, the kids were there. My mom was trying her best, but you could tell she was confused and worried. Claire kept asking where mommy was. I didn't know what to tell her. I felt so betrayed. This isn't how you solve problems in a marriage. You don't just pack up and leave. All she did was prove my point that this was about her, not about what's best for our family. I decided right then and there that I wasn't going to be the one to fix this. I'm not going to call her. She's the one who left. She's the one who blew up our family. She needs to be the one to realize her mistake and come back to fix it. So now I'm just waiting. Update. It's been almost a week since Nicole left. A week of silence. Not a single text. Not a single call. I've been going to work, coming home, and taking care of the kids. I had to hire a babysitter to help during the day, which is ironic, since this whole fight was about Nicole being home to do just that. The house feels empty and cold. I've been picking up the kids from my parents every day after work, and every day Claire asks about her mom. It's getting harder to come up with answers. This weekend, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to know what was going on. I drove over to her mom's house. I was planning on talking to Nicole, on trying to understand what she was thinking. But when I got there, only her mom was home. She seemed nervous to see me. I asked where Nicole was, and her mom hesitated before telling me. She said Nicole had gotten a job. Then she delivered the final blow. Nicole was working as an assistant for her ex-boyfriend, Harvey, 38 male. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Harvey, of all people. They dated for a few years before I met Nicole, and I never liked the guy. He always seemed arrogant, and I never understood what she saw in him. The fact that she would go running to him, of all people, felt like the ultimate betrayal. Her mom tried to explain that Nicole was desperate, and he was the only one who offered her something right away, but I didn't want to hear it. The anger I felt when I first found her note was nothing compared to this. I drove to Harvey's company. I don't even know what I was planning to do, I just knew I had to confront her. I pulled into the visitor parking area and was about to get out when I saw his car pull into a spot a few rows away. Nicole was in the passenger seat. They sat there for a minute, and then I watched as she leaned over. I couldn't see everything, but it was obvious what was happening. When she finally got out of the car, she was adjusting her clothes, fixing her blouse, and smoothing down her skirt. She couldn't even look at him. She just got out. It was so clear what they had been doing. I was in shock. I just sat there frozen. Harvey got out of his car and saw me. The look on his face was pure arrogance. I got out of my car and walked towards Nicole, who had stopped when she saw me. She looked horrified. Harvey stood there and watched, not saying a word. I didn't shout. I didn't cause a scene. I just looked her straight in the eye and said, "You are not worthy of me or my kids. I'm going to divorce you." Then I turned around, got back in my car, and drove away. I saw her in my rearview mirror, just standing there, with Harvey a few feet away, doing nothing. The next day, my phone rang. It was Nicole. She was sobbing. I could barely understand what she was saying. She told me Harvey had fired her right after I left. She said it was a mistake, that she wanted to come home, that she was sorry. But all I could feel was disgust. The love I had for her, the life I thought we were building, it was all gone, replaced by the image of her getting out of his car. I let her cry for a minute before I spoke. I told her, calmly, that there was no coming back from this, that she made her choice. She's on her own now, and she is better off away from us. I told her my lawyer would be in touch, and then I hung up. I'm heartbroken for my kids, but I know I made the right decision. There's no trust left. There's nothing left to save.